Are you the guy that hires the first person that applies for that open position? Well, you and I both know that is a recipe for chaos and disaster. You're listening to Success Unleashed, where we show contractors how to grow a 7 or 8 figure business. My name is Garrett Bake, and I've helped over 1,000 contractors and trade business owners just like you put the people, processes, and plan in place to create ultimate freedom. Welcome to the show. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You've been working to land this job. You landed it. Congratulations. But now you're scrambling. Why? Because you can't handle it with the team that you have right now. So you got to hire. First place you go, Facebook. Thanks, Facebook, right? And you start asking around, hey, I need somebody who has experience with whatever, right? Drywall, paint, landscaping, concrete. And you got 6 guys that apply. The first guy you reach out to, and he agrees to come help you out. Monday morning rolls around, he doesn't show up. Second scenario, same thing happens, right? You hire the guy, he shows up, says he's going to take a lunch break, never comes back. Third scenario, same thing. Guy shows up, starts doing some work, but does really crappy work, and you have to redo the work, and then you fire him. All 3 scenarios, you end up right back where you started, which is desperate for help and no idea how it is that you're going to get it. One of the main things that we deal with is building a team. I'll tell you right now, people, processes, and team, right? That's what we deal with. And so it's really cool to be able to market, right, and land more jobs. It's really cool to be able to say, look at my bank account. What really sucks is that you thinking that you're a business owner, except that when I call you, you can't answer the phone because you're on the job site doing the work, right? That tool belt that you said you're going to hang up, still strapped around your waist, which means you don't have a business. You just have a really expensive job. Congratulations. But that's not why you started. You didn't start because you wanted a really expensive job. You started because you wanted a business. And I will tell you the same that I tell every one of my clients, right? And every contractor that I come across, in order for you to build the business that you want, in order for you to have the freedom that you want, you need a team. And it's not just any team, it's the right team. And this doesn't matter if you're doing $500,000 a year or $18 million a year like some of our clients are. It doesn't matter. But when you have the right team, you can do things like take time off and not worry about the business burning to the ground. I can tell you already this year, right? We're halfway through the year. We've gone on a week-long cruise, okay? We've gone on a 4-day Disney adventure. Ask my wife about that one. We just got done. We wrapped a little bit of business into it, but another 4-day business trip / family in California. And then a 10-day trip traveling across the U.S., which you'll hear about at some point, I'm sure, ending up to visit my kids, my son and my daughter-in-law in Virginia. They're both in the Navy for the 4th of July. 10 days, right? How is it that my business keeps running? How is it that I'm not staring at my bank account watching it drop? How is it that we're still landing jobs for our commercial construction management company and work is still getting done? How is it? You got it. It's because the team. It's 100% the team. This is what I want you to understand. If you're hiring reactively, i.e., I'm in a problem and I need help, it's probably not going to work out for you. If you're hiring proactively, odds are you're going to have the right people where you need them, when you need them. So instead of frustrating your team, having to deal with bad job quality or damaging the reputation that you have with your clients, let's figure out a way to be proactive about this. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit and share an example with you. When I was working as a police officer, I really wanted to be part of the SWAT team, right? It just was always something that I wanted to do. And so I trained to be a part of the SWAT team, right? Now, as far as the test itself, there were 3 parts. There was a physical part. So we had to run with a weighted vest. We had to carry a dummy. We had to run up a fire tower, like all kinds of stuff. Passed that one. The next part was a shooting test, right? Moving and shooting, multiple targets, decision-based shooting. all that kind of stuff. Passed that one. The third was an interview process where I had to sit in front of a group of SWAT team members, and they asked me a bunch of questions and I had to answer them. Okay. Those 3 got me on the SWAT team. But here's the crazy part about the SWAT team, right? They have a really intense vetting process, but they also have a really intense training process. And it's the combination of those 2 that ultimately makes the team what it is. Now, a SWAT team is no different from an elite military unit, is no different from an elite contracting business. What makes them elite then? I'm going to break this down for you, okay? Number 1 and most important is the hiring process itself. If you don't have a hiring process, good luck. That's all I have to say. Good luck. And you know exactly what I'm talking about because the last 6 hires didn't work out. Or you've been hanging on to the guy for the last 6 years that you know isn't the right guy for the position, but you can't find anybody else, so you keep him there anyway. Or you end up doing the job for the guy that you hired, and he's still there, but guess what? So are you, right? Frustration, pain, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. You need a hiring process. So this is what we teach all of our clients, okay? Give it to you for free. So pay attention. You can pause this, write it down. This is what you need to do. Number 1, clarity around the position itself, right? And I call this a job framework. What are you hiring for? If I say project manager and you say project manager, we're not describing the same thing. Roofing company, concrete company, project manager, not the same thing. So what is it that you're looking for, right? Get into the details, get into the weeds. So the first thing is, what is it that you expect them to be doing on a day-to-day? Write all that stuff down, okay? Number 2 inside of this job framework is performance metrics. How do you know this person is doing a good job or not? Okay? If you can't measure it, it can't be improved. You can't measure it, you really don't know if they're doing a good job or not, right? A lot of people do this for sales, but they forget about the rest of the business, right? So sales could be, closing percentage. It can be number of doors knocked or calls made, those kind of things. The third thing are any type of qualifications that you need. If your guy is going to be driving a truck with a trailer, you probably want somebody who has experience doing that. If they need a certain type of license, like a CDL, that's going to be part of your qualifications. If they're going to need a training, like say it's a journeyman and they need to be at least a 4th year, like all that stuff needs to be defined, okay? If they're going to be doing heavy lifting, right? All the things that are part of the qualifications for that job, you need to write it in there. And the last piece is the compensation, which is not just dollars an hour, right? People are after way more than dollars an hour right now. So how do we find the people that are actually looking for their next home and not their next job? Okay. We compensate them in a way that makes sense for them, but also makes sense for the business, which includes dollars an hour, but also, are there any bonuses? What about paid time off, sick time, vacation time, right? Anything else? You can look at a 401k. You can look at any other benefits that would be included inside of compensation, right? Once you have that, now you can go to Indeed, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you think it's best for you to find this person. Here's the one piece of advice I'll give you. Go to where your people are going to be at. If I'm looking for a project manager for a plumbing company, I'm not going to Indeed. I'm not. I'm going to go to supply houses and I'm going to go to other job sites and find the guy who's unhappy working where he's at right now and give him the potential for a better opportunity. Some of you guys are like, oh, but that's poaching. Welcome to America, right? Like if somebody's working at McDonald's, who says you can't go to McDonald's and say, hey man, I could pay you $10 an hour more if you come do this for me, right? This is America. So if you want to hire somebody, give them the opportunity, okay? Now, next thing, you may not do this yet and that's okay, but I always recommend some type of behavior profiling. I'll get into this in a different conversation, but you need to know if this person is actually right for the position, okay? When people apply, the first thing you do is not tell them they're hired, okay? The first thing you do is a very quick 5 to 7 minute phone conversation. And all you're looking for then is, Are they competent, right? Can they have a conversation? 2, do they have a general idea of what they're doing? 3, does it sound like they're going to be a culture fit? That's it, right? And I ask 5 to 7 questions and get those answers. The next thing is a working interview. For most of the jobs that you're going to hire for, it's going to be a working interview, which means if you're looking for a laborer to help you finish concrete, bring them out to a job. And you should know within an hour or 2 whether they know how to finish concrete or not. And you tell them it's a working interview and you compensate them for it, but it's a working interview, right? If you have a gutter company, we had a gutter company do this, right? If you have a gutter company, there's nothing that says that you can't bring them to your warehouse, have a piece of gutter, have a roof line kind of built out and say, hey, I need you to show me how you'd hang this gutter. If they don't know how to hang the gutter, why would you hire them, right? So a working interview, show me that you know how to do the thing that you said you're going to do. We recently hired an appointment setter. Guess what we did? A working interview. I gave them the scenario ahead of time and I said, hey, this is what the scenario is, so come prepared on dealing with this. And we walked through what they would do. Very easy. But it separated those who knew what they were talking about and those that didn't. Okay? That is your hiring process. Period. So if you want a team that's reliable, that's skilled, that ultimately is helping you build your business, not destroy it, that carries your company's vibe, you need a hiring process. Period. Now, training we can talk about at a different point. But understand this. Until you learn to hire the right people, you will continue to deal with the same issues and problems that you've been dealing with for the last 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 months or beyond. It's time for you to grow up, put your big boy pants on, and start to treat this like a business and not a really expensive job. All right, you know what time it is. It's time for you to get after it. 3, 2, 1, off you go. If you're serious about growing your contracting business, and let's be real, if you made it to the end of this episode, you are. We've got a free community built just for you. Inside, you'll get access to exclusive courses, live coaching calls, and in-person events that will give you the tools to scale with confidence. Click the link below to join us, and I'll see you on the inside.